my name, but it's a little tricky seeing everyone's name on the video. So if I get your name wrong, just don't hesitate to correct me, but it's not on purpose. I'm messing it up. Okay, I'm gonna send out the first exercise on the chat. This one should be marked JS practice. If you haven't used REPL before, just open the link, and then as soon as you make a change to the file, then you'll have your own version of the file. This is a slightly different REPL screen than we've been using recently. This mode is just for JavaScript, so we'll actually see returns instead of just seeing HTML or the console. So when I click here, run, I'll get 4. So this is pretty self-explanatory. 2 plus 2, I get 4. We'll see the return. A lot of time, people get used to console.logging everything in JavaScript. That's fine, but we want to be aware that things are still happening even though we're not using console.log. If you're not familiar with JavaScript, we use these double slashes for single line comments. So we'll just start off with something simple. If I uncomment this and then I click run, what's going to happen on the right? Am I going to get 4 then 8, just 8, just 4? Please put your prediction in the chat. Chris says 4 then 8, Leah says 44, Javier says 4 and 8, 4 then 8 for Jarvis. Okay, so this one's kind of a trick question. Let's give it a shot. Just 8, just 8. So why was it just 8? Why was it just 8? It only returns the last thing, Chris. Yeah, that's right. This is how our console is working here. It's only returning this last thing. Again, if we want to print things out, we have to use console.log. Okay. 4 then 8. And you can do it down here. If you do it with the last line, it won't make a big difference because it's returning the last line's result for us anyway. 4 then 8, okay? So let's do another one. If I uncomment these lines here, x equals 3, x minus 4, then x. Assuming that we have the same rules and x will automatically return its value and show up on the screen, what will appear on the screen when I click run? We have 4, then 8. What will be that last line? Will it be 3? Will it be -1? Will it be -7? What do you think? Javier says -1. Cassie says 3. Alice says 3. Leah -1. Chris 3. Let's give it a shot. Okay, it's 3. Why is it 3? It's 3 because we never reassigned the value, right? If we said right here, x equals x minus 4, then we'll get a change. -1. We can even do this. We can even say like minus equals. It's a special operator that we get in a lot of coding languages. But with just minus, it doesn't change the value of x. When we say x equals x minus 4, this is called reassignment. This is assignment with equals, and we're reassigning x here, meaning that we assigned it once before, we assign it again. We're going to run into some limitations on reassignment in the next exercise. Okay. Let's take a look at the while loop. We haven't seen the while loop in these Thursday classes. Don't worry about let too much here. We're going to see more of it in a second. But I start off with counter equaling 0. While counter is less than 10, console.log counter, counter plus plus. So in case you haven't seen it before, counter plus plus will increase counter by 1. It's a mutator. This is different than reassignment a little bit. It's going to change the original space in memory to this new number. Will this loop count from 1 to 10, from 0 to 9, or from 0 to 10? This is 0 to 9. Jarvis says it stops at 9. Okay, so I think everyone agrees here. You guys have the right idea. Count from 0 to 9. what if I switch counter plus plus to be, what if I switch this line and the line below so that counter happened before console.log? Will that change anything? 0 to 9, 1 to 10. Okay, Jarvis thinks it doesn't change anything. Anyone else, yes or no? Will it change anything? Javier also says, Javier says 1 to 9 now. Leah says no change. Well, I think you guys are in for a surprise. Now we're going to run it. We get 1 to 10. Why do we get 1 to 10? Yeah, Alice has it because we changed the order of the incrementer. We said like, hey, go up, then print. So this will only check after we go through everything in the curly brackets. So step 1, I'm 0. Do everything in the curly brackets. Now I'm 1. Now I'm 2. So this could actually become 10 and then get logged and then have to stop. If we change the order, then we'll get a different number because before we increment it with the plus plus, it's 9. So this is a fun thing to play around with. I recommend, if that was a little tricky for you, playing around with this loop after practice or after this class, just change the order of things, try changing the value of counter, see how comfortable you can get with this.